The news alerts chimed. The timeline froze. The fandom went entirely silent. In an instant, the K-pop world was turned upside down. He's in the hospital. The horrific truth of the accident. Welcome to Starscope K-Report.
Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Hallyu wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates. From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
Today, our mission is really to just cut through that massive wave of panic that hit the timeline recently.
Oh my gosh, it was everywhere.
Right. So we are taking a deep dive into the really shocking news surrounding Pyo Ji-hoon of Block B.
Yeah.
We're going to lay out the verified facts of his sudden car accident on Jeju Island and, analyze how his agency managed the immediate fallout.
Which is a lot to handle.
Definitely. But we're also looking at the bigger picture here. We need to understand how this terrifying moment kind of intersects with the massive global success of his latest Netflix K-drama.
So good, by the way.
It really is. And we'll also talk about a highly anticipated announcement regarding the end of his K-pop hiatus.
For anyone listening right now, whether you are like a hardcore stan who has tracked his every move since his 2011 debut, or you're just catching the Hallyu wave because you saw him dominating Netflix, this story is crucial.
Absolutely.
Because it pulls back the curtain on the incredibly fragile reality behind the highly produced billion-dollar machinery of Korean entertainment.
I mean, the headline alone was enough to stop the heart of anyone invested in this industry. Let's ground this entirely in the facts, provided by the Jeju Seobu Police Station and the 119 paramedics.
Right, let's get the facts straight first.
So on Sunday, July 19th, at approximately 9:56 p.m., Pyo was crossing a road in Geumneung-ri, Hallim-eup, over in Jeju City, and he was struck by a passenger vehicle.
God, just hearing that makes my stomach drop.
Yeah, it's terrifying. The driver was identified by police simply as A.
And, when you see the phrases like hit by a car and transported to the ER, trending globally next to the name of your ultimate bias.
Right.
Which, for those newer to K-pop, your bias is your absolute favorite idol above all others. So when that trends, the mind immediately goes to the darkest possible scenario.
Of course it does.
The timeline just becomes a wall of crying emojis. The sheer panic is deafening because fans have zero control and, honestly, zero immediate information.
The information vacuum is the most terrifying part. So, following the impact, the 119 rescue services arrived at the scene and immediately transported him to the emergency room of a nearby general hospital.
Okay.
Now, regarding the injuries, I want to emphasize this very clearly. He avoided fatal or catastrophic injury.
I think it's.
Yeah, a huge relief. He suffered abrasions to his elbows and knees and complained of general body pain.
I mean, surviving a pedestrian versus vehicle collision with just abrasions and bruising, that is nothing short of a miracle.
It really is.
But the detail that really makes this heavy for the fandom is that this occurred during a private vacation. He was reportedly traveling with an acquaintance.
Right.
Idols get almost zero unmanaged time. They go to places like Jeju Island, specifically to escape the relentless cameras,
To step outside the idol bubble and just breathe.
Exactly. And the police confirmed that driver A was not under the influence of alcohol, nor did they run a red light.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, it was just a tragic, completely ordinary accident.
And that ordinary nature is exactly what shatters the illusion, I think.
How so?
Well, fans want to believe that when their favorites are off duty, they are protected. A random accident on a quiet street just proves that no amount of fame insulates you from the chaos of the real world.
That's a really good point. To understand the industry impact of an accident like this, think of a top-tier K-pop idol schedule. Less like a calendar and more like a massive global just-in-time manufacturing supply chain.
Oh, I like that analogy. Yeah, in a factory using just-in-time manufacturing, there is zero inventory sitting around. Every single part arrives exactly when it is needed to build the product.
Right.
A K-pop star's life operates the exact same way. There is zero inventory of free time. You have script readings, variety show tapings, brand endorsements, and travel all interlocking with minute-by-minute precision.
So when one truck breaks down, or in this case, an artist is unexpectedly sidelined by a car accident, the entire factory floor grounds to a halt.
Exactly.
It doesn't just affect the idol, it impacts hundreds of crew members, co-stars, and broadcast networks who are all relying on that incredibly tight timeline.
Which brings us to the immediate fallout. While the physical injuries were thankfully minor, the ripple effect on his schedule is a massive logistical mountain to climb.
Oh, for sure.
And while the physical injuries were minor, the ripple effect on his schedule is massive. But wait till you hear what netizens uncovered about how this impacts his biggest global project yet.
But before we get into that, if you love staying updated on your ultimate bias and all things K-pop, make sure you're subscribed to Starscope K-Report. We've got even bigger scoops ahead.
So when the medical reality was settled at the hospital, a completely different machine had to boot up the corporate crisis response.
They have to move so fast.
Exactly. We're talking about how a modern entertainment agency handles a sudden crisis for a trending star. Artist Company, which is Pyo's agency, stepped in incredibly fast. They released an official statement to reassure the public and confirm he had been discharged.
Because they just cannot afford to wait 24 hours to gather all the details. In the K-entertainment industry, silence breeds devastating rumors.
It really does.
If an agency doesn't speak within hours of an ER trip leaking to the press, netizens will start theorizing everything from a massive cover-up to a career-ending injury.
Right, the speculation just spirals out of control.
The agency has to kill that speculation instantly to protect the artist's brand and, frankly, reassure shareholders.
Let's look at the actual data of his schedule to see that supply chain disruption in real time. Pyo had to immediately cancel his July 24 recording for the beloved TV and variety show Amazing Saturday.
Which is such a bummer.
Yeah. However, the agency stated he is incredibly pushing forward to resume filming the SBS drama Good Partner 2 next week.
Missing Amazing Saturday is a massive deal domestically. He is an absolute staple there, providing comedic timing and chemistry that draws huge ratings.
Yeah, he's great on that show.
But pushing to return to a drama set in just a week while dealing with general body pain from a car accident, that really highlights the immense pressure of carrying a production.
I want to break down exactly why delaying a K-drama shoot is such a nightmare. It is not just about moving a calendar appointment.
Oh no, it's so much more than that.
When an actor misses a week, the production company bleeds money. They have already paid for location permits that might only be valid for a specific window.
Right.
They have to rearrange the schedules of A-list co-stars who might have overlapping projects.
And you are racing against a broadcast deadline. A lot of these dramas are still heavily filming while early episodes are actually airing on TV.
Yes, the live shoot system.
The pressure to keep the cameras rolling is astronomical, and Pyo is at the absolute peak of his acting career right now. He simply cannot afford to hit pause.
The peak is an understatement. We have to talk about the Netflix phenomenon.
Oh, let's talk about it.
He recently starred in the smash hit Netflix original series, Teach You a Lesson. The show didn't just do well in Korea, it debuted at #2 globally.
#2 globally. That's insane.
Hitting those numbers requires transcending the usual K-drama audience and capturing a massive mainstream international demographic.
And the fandom is absolutely obsessed with this current era of Pyo Ji-hoon because his character in Teach You a Lesson is a massive departure from his early Idol days.
Really different vibe.
So different. He plays Geun-dae. Yeah. He is a KAIST graduate, which is essentially like the MIT of South Korea, the absolute pinnacle of elite technical education. Right. He serves as a 5th-grade civil servant and acts as the IT brain for the Educational Rights Protection Bureau, or ERPB.
He's the intellectual anchor of the show, and he is working alongside the incredibly intimidating Na Hwa-jin, played by Kim Moo-yeol.
Such a good casting choice.
Yeah, Hwa-jin is this former Special Forces captain who uses highly unconventional, often very physical intervention to discipline delinquent students.
The dynamic is just brilliant. You have this imposing physical force in Hwa-jin, balanced by Pyo's character, Geun-dae, who is the tech genius behind the scenes.
Yeah, it balances out perfectly.
And his visuals, which again is the K-pop term for an artist's physical appearance and styling, his visuals are so sharp, mature, and tailored in this drama. He has successfully shed the boy band image and really established himself as a serious, bankable actor.
But, this raises a fundamental question about how the industry operates.
Okay, what do you mean?
Well, when his idol achieves this level of global visual and acting success and becomes the linchpin of a massive Netflix production, do agencies need to rethink how they manage private time?
Oh, well.
Is the traditional unmanaged vacation simply too risky for someone carrying a multi-million-dollar global asset on their shoulders?
You are hitting on the core tension between the human being and the corporate asset.
Exactly.
From a strictly business perspective, Artist Company represents a massive investment. A global Netflix star getting hit by a car while crossing the street on a personal trip is a logistical catastrophe.
A total nightmare for them.
I guarantee there are boardroom discussions happening right now arguing that these top-tier stars need private security or heavily managed leisure time to protect the broadcast schedules.
So do you buy that argument? Like, should their time off be managed to protect the investment?
Absolutely not, because you are dealing with human beings, not machines.
Fair point.
The K-pop industry already faces intense scrutiny for micromanaging artists' lives, controlling what they eat, who they date, where they go.
It's notoriously strict.
Right, so if you take away their ability to just go on a quiet trip to Jeju with a friend and cross the street like a normal person, you risk extreme psychological burnout. Wrapping an artist in bubble wrap might protect the shooting schedule, but it destroys the person.
That makes a lot of sense.
This accident just proves that no matter how many Netflix charts you top, you are still vulnerable to the randomness of the real world.
And that randomness is what makes the trajectory of these stars so fascinating. Because later in the deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking plot twist regarding his original group, Block B, that nobody saw coming after a nearly 10-year hiatus.
This is hands down the KT of the year.
Yeah, to understand why this is blowing up, we really have to connect Pyo's current status back to his roots.
Let's do it.
Before the tailored suits and the global streaming numbers, he was the maknae of the legendary K-pop group Block B.
Yes. And for those who don't know, the maknae is the youngest member of a K-pop group. It is a very specific dynamic in Korean culture. The maknae is often doted on, teased, but also gets away with being a bit rebellious with the older members.
Well, right before the accident, Pyo gave a fascinating interview in a Seoul cafe discussing the success of Teach You a Lesson, and he casually dropped a story about his Block B bandmate, Zico.
Zico is an absolute titan in the industry. I mean, he is a powerhouse producer, a CEO, and just one of the most respected figures in Korean music.
Exactly. So Pyo revealed that Zico actually binged Teach You a Lesson in just 2 days while he was traveling.
2 days.
Yeah, and Zico desperately wants a cameo if there's a season 2 of the show.
I would love to see that.
But Pyo's hilarious response to this industry titan asking for a favor. He literally told him, Zico Hyam, stop saying nonsense.
Huh. That is peak maknae behavior.
It really is.
You can be a chart-topping legend like Zico, but to Pyo, you were just his annoying older brother asking for a handout. The fans absolutely devoured that interaction because it proves that despite the group being on hiatus for years, their brotherhood is completely intact.
But he didn't stop at a funny anecdote. He dropped a genuine bombshell. Pyo revealed that Block B, who originally debuted back in 2011, is actively discussing a full group comeback in 2027.
A nearly 10-year break coming to an end. It's wild.
He mentioned it is pending the right timing and the right songs, but the discussions are very serious.
Domestic Korean netizens and international fans alike are losing their collective minds over this timeline.
Oh, I bet.
People are already predicting an all-kill on the charts for a 2027 release.
Let's define that for a second. An all-kill isn't just, having a popular song.
Right. An all-kill is a highly specific, very difficult chart achievement in South Korea.
How does it work?
It means a song has hit #1 simultaneously on the real-time and daily charts of all the major streaming platforms. So Melon, Genie, Bugs, and Flow.
Wow, all of them at once.
Yeah, it requires massive unified fandom streaming power combined with general public interest. And the public interest in a Block B reunion is astronomical because of Pyo's personal journey.
His journey has been incredibly turbulent. It is easy to look at the Netflix numbers now, but the early days were, frankly, really dark.
They really were. Back in 2012, Block B faced a massive, highly publicized controversy regarding an interview they gave in Thailand.
Yeah, that was a huge scandal.
The cultural backlash from Korean netizens was severe. It wasn't just mean comments online. It was national news, petitions, and just intense public anger.
And he was so young at the time.
He was just a teenager. And the stress was so profound, he was actually hospitalized for shock, with reports at the time citing a stress-induced schizophrenia diagnosis.
He really took the absolute brunt of the public's fury.
He did. It was a genuinely terrifying time for him and the fans.
Absolutely.
To watch him survive that, push forward through his subunit Basters, successfully complete his enlistment in the incredibly tough Marine Corps from 2022 to 2023, and now emerge as a resilient, mature, powerhouse global actor. It is the ultimate redemption arc.
It really is an incredible story.
He went from being a hospitalized teenager, overwhelmed by industry pressure, to the guy basically orchestrating a reunion for his brothers.
I am going to push back on the strategy here, though.
Okay, let's hear it.
Putting aside the emotional redemption arc for a moment, Pyo is dominating global Netflix charts. He is landing prime roles in major network dramas like Good Partner 2.
True.
Does a K-pop comeback in 2027 actually make strategic sense for his career trajectory?
Why wouldn't it?
Well, idol life is grueling. You have the intense choreography, the exhausting music show promotions, the mandatory fan service. From a talent management perspective, returning to idol life almost seems like a massive step backward from the prestige of being a global actor. Is this just a vanity project to please the hardcore fandom?
That is a very traditional way of looking at talent management, assuming acting is the ultimate, graduation from idol life.
Sure.
But you have to understand the specific DNA of Block B. They were never a cookie-cutter manufactured group. They produced their own music. They thrived on a very chaotic, authentic hip-hop energy.
So a comeback serves a different purpose for them now.
Exactly. A 2027 comeback isn't about climbing the idol ladder or trying to compete with the fourth and fifth generation rookies on music shows.
Right. They don't need to prove themselves in that way.
It is a legacy move. It is a flex. It is a group of successful, wealthy men coming together to say, we survived this brutal industry, we thrived individually, and now we are returning entirely on our own terms.
That's a powerful statement.
It is absolutely a love letter to the BBC fandom, the Block B Club, but it is also a profound statement of industry longevity. It shatters the notorious 7-year curse in K-pop, proving that a group's story doesn't have to end when their first contract expires.
If you want to follow that story, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a KT update on Block B's future, because we will definitely be tracking that 2027 timeline and what it means for the industry.
So when we pull all these threads together, the accident, the Netflix success, the comeback rumors, what is the ultimate takeaway here?
Well, parsing through the sources, we really find a story of immense relief wrapped in industry chaos. We started with the flashing lights of an ambulance on Jeju Island, but the reality is that Pyo Ji-hoon is safe.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. He is recovering. He avoided catastrophic injury in a fluke accident on a quiet street. And he stands firmly at the intersection of K-pop royalty and K-drama stardom, navigating canceled variety shows while plotting the most anticipated group reunion of the decade.
He really is the anchor point for so many different facets of the Hallyu wave right now.
But I want to leave you with a deep, lingering question to mull over as you consume your daily K-entertainment news.
Okay.
We have spent this deep dive exploring the machinery of his career, the agency's swift crisis response, the logistical nightmare of a mispaping, the strategy behind a 2027 music chart all kill. But what does it say about modern K-pop culture that when a star is literally hit by a car, the very first public conversations revolve around missed television recordings and comeback timelines? Have we, as consumers of the Hallyu wave, become so addicted to the machinery of the content that we forget the fragile human being required to make it?
You've been listening to Starscope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.